Hello students, welcome to Alpha C Learning. This is session 67. In previous session, we was learned that nomenclature and isomerism exhibited by aliphatic ethers and also cyclic ethers. In this session, we are going to discuss methods of preparation of ethers. Methods of preparation of ethers are nothing but chemical properties of alcohols. If we learn thoroughly chemical properties of alcohols, in so many properties, we learn that in so many properties of alcohols, whatever we learn, we observe that always formation of ether. Let us recall all the properties of alcohols, nothing but preparation of ethers. Properties of alcohols, nothing but preparation of ethers. Now, methods of preparation, in their first one, acid catalyzed dehydration of alcohols. Acid catalyzed dehydration of alcohols gives ethers. I am going to consider ROH 2 moles. This one upon heating in presence of concentrated H2SO4 or H3PO4, sulfuric acid or phosphoric acid. Upon maintaining temperature 415 or 413 Kelvin, we are getting ROR. So what mechanism involves in this reaction? I used to consider instead of ROH, ethyl alcohol, 2 moles of ethyl alcohol upon reaction with concentrated H2SO4, 430 Kelvin, also called 140 degrees Celsius, we are adding ether, diethyl ether. If you recall properties of alcohols, if you recall properties of ethyl alcohol, there we learned that ethyl alcohol undergoes dehydration. Ethyl alcohol undergoes dehydration at 110, 140 and 170 degrees Celsius. At 110 degrees Celsius, it gives ethyl hydrogen sulfate, that is nothing but substitution product, whereas at 140 degrees Celsius, from 2 moles of alcohol, loss of water takes place and ultimately we are getting ether as a product. And at 170 degrees Celsius, dehydration takes place only from 1 molecule of alcohol. Let us see the mechanism, how it proceeds. Sulfuric acid is acid, H2SO4. It dissociates suddenly as H plus and HSO4 minus. That H plus taken by alcohol here, C2H5OH. Upon treatment with H2SO4, it converts into C2H5OH2 plus. That means here ethyl alcohol oxygen gets protonated and converts into C2H5OH2 plus. Later, C2H5 mix C2H5OH2. I am going to write as CH3CH2OH. Upon reaction with CH3CH2 OH2 now as OH2 plus, it is good leaving loop. It prefer to leave away and a resultant this carbon acquires partial positive charge. Upon this partially positively charged carbon, this oxygen, upon this partially positively charged carbon, this oxygen attacks with the electron pair. That means it is very clear this reaction belongs to SN2 reaction, and moreover attacking of this alcohol upon another molecule, protonated molecule of alcohol, this one is nothing but slow step and also rate-determined step. Once again, H2SO4 shows its acidic properties and gives proton and HSO4 minus, and that proton absorbed by alcohol and converts into C2H5OH2 plus. Upon this C2H5OH2 plus, another molecule has to come and attack, and this reaction is SN2 nucleophilic substitution bimolecular, and I mentioned that here this one is SN2 and this only slow step, rate determining step. Then we are getting C2H5 OH plus. Now this oxygen donates electron pair this carbon and this one leave away. Here CH2 CH3 plus H2O. Later deprotonation first step H plus involved, that will come out. Then we are getting C2H5 OC2H5. If you observe here, mechanism proceeds via SN2. So which type of alcohol prefers SN2 mechanism? Basically only primary alcohols. In case of primary alcohols are not there, in case of secondary and tertiary alcohols, in such a case what happened? They are able to form stable carbocation. They are able to form stable carbocation, and whenever carbocation formation takes place, obviously we learn that rearrangements and ring expansions are possible, and via formation of carbocation you may get a mixture of products, but here you are not getting any mixture of products. But remember that here alcohol must be excess. If alcohol is not excess, then you are not getting ether. Instead of that, you are getting ethyl hydrogen sulfate. That means only first step reaction proceeds, and after that there is no further reaction. And in case of ethyl alcohol, it proceeds SN2 mechanism. If alcohol is able to give more stable carbocation, in such a case, mechanism proceeds via SN1. Now, for this dehydration, what we can say? Primary alcohol SN2 reaction more than secondary than tertiary. Fine. Sir, in case of here we are using 2 moles of ethyl alcohol. Instead of that, if we are using 2 different alcohols, in case of that we are using 2 different alcohols, what happened? So what products you are going to get? Try to answer. I'm asking the question. Here 2 moles of ethyl alcohol we are using. Instead of that 2 moles of ethyl alcohol, if I am going to use mixture of alcohol, then what product we can get here? Let us try. You may try what product you are getting. Now, in this case, not only acid catalyzed dehydration, and there are other methods of dehydrations are there. Other methods of dehydration are there. That one is familiar is anhydrous Al2O3. Heating with anhydrous Al2O3 and 260 degrees Celsius, alcohols undergoes dehydration. With anhydrous Al2O3, and temperature we need to maintain 260 degrees Celsius. So 2 moles of ethyl alcohol upon dehydration by using anhydrous Al2O3, and we are getting C2H5OC2H5. And what's the news here? Whatever we learned there, the same thing appeared here also. Yes, that's correct. But remember, there we are using 140 degrees Celsius, here we are using 260 degrees Celsius. Means first difference temperature is there. And the second difference is here first protonation. Whenever protonation takes place, there is scope for possibility of carbocation, and after formation of carbocation, rearrangement, ring expansions are possible. Of course, ultimately whether carbocation formation takes place or do not takes place, that depends upon alcohol. But whatever the alcohol, when we are using anhydrous Al2O3 260 degrees Celsius, whether it is a primary alcohol, secondary alcohol, or tertiary alcohol, but things are different here. Here you are getting only dehydration product. You are not supposed to get any other products. That means when we are using alcohol, here you are getting ether. But means if you increase the temperature from 260 to 350 degrees Celsius, then there will be formation of ethene as product. But at 260 degrees Celsius, we are getting only ether. That means when we are using anhydrous Al2O3, here without formation of any carbocation, that means there is no rearrangements and there is no ring expansion. We are getting one product only. Fine. If two different alcohols we considered, if two different alcohols we considered, let us say ROH, another one is R-OH. This one upon heating with anhydrous Al2O3 and 260 degrees Celsius, what happened? So earlier I mentioned that there will be formation of carbocation. What happened? Means of course in case of primary alcohol, carbocation formation do not takes place. So via formation of carbocation, that substitution what we call SN1. Without formation of carbocation, that substitution what we call SN2. Here SN2 proceeds in case of ethyl alcohol, right? Now whether it is ethyl alcohol, isopropyl alcohol, here SN1 is not possible. Ultimately here only SN2. Here anhydrous Al2O3 acts as Lewis acid and it forms complex again with the oxygen of ethyl alcohol. Same scenario. But when we are using two different alcohols, what happened? Yes, obviously we may get ROR, ROR dash and R dash OR. So we may get different. We have mixture of ethers. Because of reaction is not in our control, we cannot say. So don't participate, the alcohol don't participate and someone is going to participate, we cannot say like that, right? So when we are using two different alcohols, you may get a mixture of products, but that mixture of products not because of formation of carbocation. Here earlier we learned that mixture of products you are getting because of formation of carbocation, and the carbocation is going to participate in ring expansion and rearrangement. But here there is no rearrangement ring expansion when we are using two different alcohols. When we are using two different alcohols, even though we are getting different mixture of ethers as products. Now I am going to use ethyl alcohol with methyl alcohol. Ethyl alcohol and methyl alcohol, Al2O3 260 degrees Celsius. Try to write what products we are going to get. So students, another method of preparation of ethers are Williamson synthesis. Williamson synthesis we will learn from first year onwards. Basic theme of Williamson synthesis is alkyl halides upon reaction with sodium alkoxides. Alkyl halide upon reaction with sodium alkoxide gives ether. Now, alkyl halide must be primary here in Williamson synthesis. Alkyl halides must be less hindered. What happens in case of more hindered alkyl halides? It prefers elimination rather than substitution. See here, overall reaction is RO minus is substituted X minus, means X minus substituted by RO minus. So this one is SN2 reaction. It's very clear. This one is SN2 reaction. Nucleophilic substitution. OR minus is stronger nucleophile. It can easily displace as X minus. But here condition what I mentioned. Here alkyl halide must be less hindered. Alkoxide of course even though it is more hindered it is not a criteria. Now let us see. Sodium ethoxide C2H5ONA upon reaction with methyl bromide, since Br is good leaving group, C2H5ONA gets C2H5O minus and Na plus. This O minus has to come and attack upon this carbon, and this Br comes out, means Br minus will be displaced by CH3 minus. So C2H5 OCH3 we are getting product, means ether as the product. Now the same reagent sodium ethoxide only, but instead of methyl bromide, let us assume ethyl bromide and the C2H5O minus. It is nothing but a conjugate base of alcohol. Alcohols are weak acids. Being weak acids, conjugate is a strong base. Here, being a strong base, it prefers to extract the proton, and there are two possibilities here. Possibility number one, this O minus may come and attack upon this leaving group containing carbon. That means it leads SN2 product. then the product is C2H5OCH2CH3. This product what we call substitution product. This product is a substitution product. And beyond of that, there is one more possibility, that is this C2H5O minus may come on this beta carbon containing hydrogen with respect to leaving group. Now Br is leaving group. With respect to leaving group, this carbon is alpha and adjacent carbon is beta. Now beta carbon containing hydrogen abstracted by C2H5O minus. Then abstract H minus, these electrons comes like this and this Br will leave away. Hence we are getting product CH2 double bond CH2. Then this is E2 product. And this one is SN2 product. That means here there are two types of product formation takes place. One is SN2 product, another one is E2 product. So SN2 product is possible. SN2 product is possible if alkyl halide is less hindered. In other words, if SN2 product will be major if alkyl halide is less hindered. If alkyl halide is hindrance increases, then SN product percentage decreases. Simultaneously, elimination product percentage increases. Elimination product percentage increases. Now, we want to prepare methyl tertiary butyl ether. Then, which reactants we need to consider? Methyl tertiary butyl ether CH3O, CH3, CH3, CH3. This ether we want to prepare. Methyl tertiary butyl ether. Then this one can be prepared by considering two types of reactants. Let us see. First type of reactant CH3ONA, sodium methoxide, upon reaction with tertiary butyl bromide. And one more possibility, tertiary butoxide, sodium tertiary butoxide or potassium tertiary butoxide, CH3Br. In which way reaction proceeds, or in which way we are getting maximum amount of tertiary butyl methyl ether product. Let us consider first way. In this case CH3O minus, we are getting this CH3O minus is strong base. Now it has to approach the Br containing carbon, but here Br containing carbon is more surrounded by bulky groups. That means this one has more hindrance. Now this CH3O minus prefers to abstract proton from this carbon containing hydrogen from the carbon, and which leads elimination as a major product because of this CH3O minus being it is electron rich. It cannot approach the central carbon or more hindered carbon. Instead of that, it prefers to abstract proton from beta carbon. Resultant, we are getting elimination product as a major product. That means in this part we are not supposed to get methyl tertiary butyl ether. Now let us check second part. In this part, the sodium or potassium tertiary butoxide upon reaction with alkyl halide. This alkyl halide is methyl bromide. Simple bromide, methyl bromide is simple bromide, means less hindered alkyl halide. Since alkyl halide is less hindered, this O minus freely carbon attack upon this methyl group containing bromine containing methyl group. Resultant, we are getting methyl and tertiary butyl ether. We can get this product as major product, and here there is no scope for elimination because here beta carbon also not there. Since beta carbon is not there, here elimination product we cannot predict. And in first case, maximum product or major product is elimination, and here elimination comes because of more hindrance. That's why in the beginning only I mentioned that alkyl halide must be less hindered. And alkoxide may be hindered because of oxygen is not hindered one. Oxygen containing alkyl group may be hindered. That's not a matter. Oxygen always remains the same. Now, if we want to prepare phenyl allyl ether. First phenyl methyl ether. So I want to prepare phenyl methyl ether. Which one? In which way we can prepare? Let us see. This one also we can prepare in two ways. Path 1. Sodium phenoxide sodium phenoxide upon reaction with methyl iodide. And part 2, phenyl bromide upon reaction with CH3ONA. So, which one is far better? Let us consider in first case phenoxide ion, as we discussed and we learned in previous session. Phenoxide ion is more stable, and this phenoxide ion may come and attack upon that leaving group containing carbon, means iodine containing carbon, and it can freely approach. Phenoxide ion, being phenoxide, it itself is stable, and also it can freely attack upon leaving group containing carbon. Here leaving group is nothing but iodine. Iodine containing carbon freely approach because of hindrance is less, and there is no scope for elimination because of leaving group consists only one carbon, that is alpha carbon. There is no beta carbon. That's why here you may get maximum amount of product as addiesol, means phenyl, ether or methoxybenzene as major product. Now let us discuss in case of second one. So CH3O minus, of course CH3O minus is a strong base. Here phenyl bromide, and we learned that halogen attached to ring, we cannot displace that much easily because of this halogen has tendency to show its plasma effect. Of course, for that effect for bromine is less, but they show some effect, some extent. Resultant carbon halogen double bond formation takes place. Because of that reason, it is not that much easy to displace the halogen atom which directly attached to phenyl ring. In such a case, we cannot displace that halogen that much easily. And point number 2. Here CH3O minus is basically electron rich, and that CH3O minus, more electron rich CH3O minus means methoxide ion has to approach to more electron rich ring, means it do not allow to approach because of both are more electron rich species. So towards one electron rich species, another electron rich species cannot approach, and hence what do you say here? Displacement is not possible in this method. Now let us see phenyl, allyl ether, CH2, CH double bond, CH2. So how can we prepare, means by considering which reactants we can prepare this product as a major product. Let us see what are the possibilities here for preparing phenyl and allyl ether. Possibility number 1, PHONA, sodium phenoxide, and the allyl bromide, CH2 double bond CH2Br. This one is one possibility, and one more possibility here, PHBr and CH2 double bond CH2ONA. So which method is far better? Check yourself. Like this, similar to this, one more question is that is benzyl PH CH2O CH3. So here methyl benzyl ether. This methyl benzyl ether, in which way we can prepare? Possibility number 1, PHCH2O minus plus CH3Br, and another way CH3O minus plus PHCH2Br. So in which way we can prepare, means in which way we are getting maximum yield of product. Can we prepare cyclic ethers in Williamson synthesis? In Williamson synthesis, one is alkoxide, another one is alkyl halide. Now, alkoxide and alkyl halide, if both are present in the same compound, then what we call intramolecular Williamson synthesis, and which leads formation of cyclic ethers. Let us see this example. and this terminal is with OH and this terminal is Br. Means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 bromo pentane ol, 1 ol. 5 bromo, 1 pentanol. This compound, upon reaction with the sodium metal, as we know that alcohols shows acidic properties. Upon reaction with the active metals like sodium or potassium, the hydrogen gets displaced by sodium metal. Means we are half H2. Resultant we are writing Br. Here are O minus and Na plus. Now it is very clear. This end is alkoxide and this one is alkyl halide. Resultant this O minus may come and attack upon this one. Further this Br has to leave. That means we are getting product cyclic ether. Cyclic ether. Now the same substrate I used to consider, same substrate OH and Br. This one upon reaction with NaOH, what happened? This one upon reaction with NaOH, what happened? This NaOH, which NaOH you are going to use? It depends upon nature of NaOH, because we learned in previous sessions as aqueous KOH, alcoholic KOH, or aqueous alkali, alcoholic alkali. There are two of them. Aqueous alkali preferably gives a substitution product, and aqueous alkali preferably gives a substitution product, whereas alcoholic alkali gives elimination product. Elimination product. Now I used to mention that here NaOH, aqueous ethanolic and heat. Aqueous ethanolic and heat. Then it prefers to abstract proton. From where it prefers to abstract that? It prefers to abstract proton from here only. And this O minus formation takes place, and this O minus has to come and attack upon this Br containing carbon, which gives the same product as earlier. Now instead of that, if we mention as aqueous KOH, so can we say aqueous KOH substitution? No. What substitution takes place? Where substitution takes place here? Br will be displaced by OH. That means where we are using aqueous alkali, substitution preferable. Whereas alcoholic alkali, then elimination is preferable. But here elimination not takes place. Here cyclization takes place. Now, methods of preparation. Alkyl halides upon reaction with dry silver oxide. What do you mean by dry silver oxide? That also we learned. Dry silver oxide means there is no water. So what happens if water is there? Then it converts into AgOH. So AgOH is nothing but aqueous AgOH. Again it leads substitution, means aqueous alkali. It's also just like aqueous alkali, which gives substitution product rather than elimination product or dehydration product. Here, let us suppose alkyl halide upon reaction with Ag2O. 2 moles of alkyl halide upon reaction with silver oxide, we are getting ROR and AgX precipitate. So here AgX precipitate out and we are getting ROR. Let us consider ethyl bromide C2H by Br, 2 moles upon reaction with silver oxide, dry silver oxide. Then we are getting diethyl ether as a product along with AgBr. So with dry silver oxide we are getting alkyl halide gives ethers, and with moist silver oxide if you consider, then it gives further only substitution product. That means X will be replaced by OH minus. None other than that, we are getting X will be replaced by OH minus. Now the same reactant I used to consider here means similar reactant I used to consider here. this Br and Br means 1 comma 5 1 2 3 4 5 1 comma 5 dibromo-pentane. This one upon treatment with dry silver oxide. Dry silver oxide, we are getting the same product as earlier. This one only, oxacyclohexane. Oxacyclohexane. So when we are treating with dry silver oxide, if one means dihaloalkanes also gives cyclic ethers.